Okie dokie. Okay, so I'm super excited to have you on. I just want, like, I feel like I started to like brag about you to my team around conference when you were like, "Hey, can we take a picture?" I'm like, "Shoot, she somehow knows that I stalk her on online. Like somehow she found out, because I honestly like kept myself so much in the beginning that I just like stalked all you guys. I mean, I knew you guys from way back in the day. But anyways, so why don't you just kind of start with your 5-minute story, how you got started, how far you've come, some of your accomplishments, and maybe even some of your struggles.
Okay. So, well, thanks. Sorry. Let's put the puppy away. It's so funny because I remember at conference at that kickoff party when I asked to take the picture and you were like, I was just stalking you on Instagram, and I was like, oh my God, I made it. So anyways, I'm Nicole. I am 26 years old now. I joined the business 3 years ago last month. And obviously so much has changed. So when I joined It Works, I was a full-time dental hygiene student, and we were told in hygiene school, you couldn't work. You didn't have the time to work with clinicals and with classes and everything. So it was do hygiene school or have a job. Naturally, I never listened to anyone. So I had a job and did hygiene school. So I was working part-time at TD Bank, and I was in full-time hygiene school. That's when I came across this. And I thought for sure, like, there was no way that I could manage all three of them. I was told I shouldn't even be working at the bank, never mind having this online job. So it took me a while to start up. I started up with someone that I knew from town. I always saw her posting about going on vacation and it paying her rent. And I was living with my parents, and I'm like, extra money would be cool. So I asked her, and I waited 6 months to get started. So if you're new and you're on here, don't feel like you did something wrong by waiting. But when it comes to talking to new people, just don't push them, but express to them like you wish you didn't wait. Because if I had joined this when I first talked to her 6 months prior, I can't even imagine how far I would be. So when I first started, I had a slow start. I actually got the girl I enrolled with had left the company, and it was about 3 days after I enrolled. So I had a really slow start. I didn't have much guidance. I look back on my conversations I had in the beginning, and I'm like, oh my gosh, because I had no idea what I was talking about. I was going on Product Coach and copying and pasting like what it said, even with like the little trademark signs, and like sending that to people. So it was bad. It was like as bad as you could ever imagine, because I had no idea what I was doing. So I had a slow start. I didn't go Ruby for about 7 or 8 months. I think it was about 7 months. And then that's when I really started catching the vision. My biggest advice is find an accountability partner that pumps you up, because I started getting close with Cassie and they, and at that time, I think Cassie was like a diamond, maybe double, but I don't even think so. She just pumped me up. Cassie, Nay, Emily, Lindsay, they just pumped me up. So I thought,
I don't know who that is. Cassie was the number 2 income earner like at second quarter of the year, like halfway through the year, and she's only 24.
Yeah. So, at the time she wasn't like high up in the company. She was just not just a diamond, but she was a diamond. And she just pumped me up. So my number one advice is find an accountability partner, someone that gets you excited. 9 months, I keep saying 7 or 8. I should really figure out exactly how many months, but 8 or 9 months in, I went diamond. I just had graduated hygiene school, and I was working full-time for about 2 months, and I went diamond. We bought our first house, which was a cute little starter home. It was about 900 square feet. It was perfect for us then. And we soon outgrew that. So then I stayed at diamond for about a year, and then I think I was just comfortable. I was making great money as a hygienist. A big part of my story, and I think is very important, you don't have to be like someone who was really struggling to be successful in this. I was making $77 an hour as a dental hygiene professor at a university. So I was comfortable. I was like making good money, and I was making $1,200 a month as a diamond. I'm like, I'm freaking set for life. And then eventually my goals started changing, and I was like, I don't want to go to work every day. So just know, like, no matter what your financial situation is, even if you're a freaking astronaut working for NASA, you can be successful with this. So my vision kind of changed, and I was sick of the 9 to 5. So I went double diamond, and I stayed double for 2 months, and then I went triple. And that's when life really started changing. We grew out of that 900 square foot house really quick. And we were just like, I don't know, things were changing. I was sick of Connecticut. We lived in a very small town in Connecticut. People that lived like the next town over don't even know what town we lived in. And I wanted to live at the beach, and I just wanted to do what I wanted to do. So my thing is, everyone says, when did you quit your job? So I quit after I was triple for almost a year. I was in the top 75, and I was still working full-time hygiene and teaching. So that's another huge part of my story that's super important for you guys to know, that no matter what your job is, and I'm sure we'll get into this more, but no matter what your job is, you can make this work. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. I spent 40 hours with my hands gloved up in mouths, obviously couldn't be on my phone. And then I spent about 15 to 20 hours a week teaching hygiene, where I really couldn't be on my phone. So I would say about 50 hours a week I was working, and I was working not where I could even look at my phone, and I still went triple. So no matter what your job is, no matter what you're doing, you can do it. So then we moved to South Carolina.
Guys, her hands are in people's mouths. Like, she can't message people. She went triple.
I always talk about that. So at the bank, we would be like, they would say, oh, you can't have your phone. It's like personal. You have a social security numbers at your fingertips and blah, blah, blah. But of course, we all still had our phone behind the thing. Blah, blah, blah. But like, being a hygienist, there's no being on your phone. So no matter what you're doing, you can do it. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. So yeah, now I live in South Carolina, and life is freaking good. You said before, mentioned bonuses. So I made $140,000 in bonuses. When I went diamond, I got 10,000, double 30, triple 50, presidential 25, and my husband is under me too. So he has also gotten bonuses along the way.
So how old were you when you joined?
I was 23.
You were 23, and how old are you now?
26.
Okay. I'm just writing your autobiography over here.
I know, I still have to write my little story thing.
Well, so this is actually a leadership tip, guys, and even for you. So I have a Zoom book now, and I literally have been writing down the leaders and everything that's going on, that talks about in their Zoom. And I like to open it in my self-development time in the morning and kind of read through again, because it helps me, you know how pairing kind of your newbies with a leader that is similar to them, it helps me kind of be okay, you should follow her, because I used to just only enroll a certain kind of person, but now becoming a mom, I'm realizing that my story is changing, and maybe people can relate to me. Sorry, I'm rambling, but it's something I'm let me write as many notes about you as I can.
I actually love that. That's a really good idea.
So hey, you're so welcome. All right. So first question I want to ask you is, getting started as a new distributor, best advice and the perspective as a new DT on what to do right in the beginning and how to get going quickly.
So coming from someone, I know I already told you guys this, but someone who didn't really have help in the beginning, my tips that I wish I had known when I was new is, one, your mindset is everything. This business is 10% skill, 90% mindset. Your mindset really, really is everything. And I will be the first to say, again, I don't know any of you on here, if you're new or you've been in for a while. I used to, when Cassie would tell me to grow my mindset and do self-development, I'd be like, yeah, okay, what a waste of time. And if you guys are new, you probably are still feeling that. So just know that it's truly, truly, what you need in this business. So I watch The Secret probably once a day. It's just great to have playing in the background. And I always say, growing up, I used to think something and then it would happen. And then I'd be like, I'm psychic and I'm Raven Simone and I should have been on the show. That's so Raven, because everything I say happens. And I'm sure most of you can relate to that. And now it all makes sense. It literally all makes sense. So just know that, one, you yes, you are going to get negative feedback. You're going to get awesome feedback too. Just know, don't let the negative feedback break you down, because behind every negative comment, there is so much great, and it's all coming. So that was my number one thing in the beginning. I wish I had known mindset is everything. Number two, our products are freaking awesome. And if you are not using them yet, say you just joined, you didn't even get your starter kit or whatever it is. If you're not using the products, you truly don't know how great our products are. You have to have faith that they are awesome. My number one thing is getting an auto shipment set up, because I know in the beginning you're like, I joined to make money, not to spend money. But once you start getting your own personal results and really start loving the products, you will sell them like, you could probably say a sentence backwards, close your eyes and stand on your head, and people are going to buy it from you because you're going to be so excited about it. Like keto coffee, chocolate greens, I lost 31 pounds. I can sell it to freaking dirt because I'm excited and I love my results. So as a new distributor, get the products, win giveaways. I'm sure Lachelle probably does some kind of giveaways, free product giveaways, like work for them, win them, set up your auto shipment. Okay, so self-development, using the products, being a product of the product, realizing that they don't work if they're closed and they've never been open and they're in their cabinet, because they don't work then. And number three is, it's okay if your family doesn't support you. That's something I wish that I had known. I'm just a very, very strong person. So it didn't affect me that much, because I was like, that's fine. Like, you can watch me be successful. But I have so many distributors I sign up and they let it beat them down. So that kind of ties back in with self-development. Just know that you are going to be amazing. And still to this day, guys, I'm in the top 40 income earners and my family still thinks I'm crazy. Still. So like, you can do anything as long as your mindset is right and make sure you're using the products. I guess those are my tips for new distributors.
No, that's so good. I'm running down. Okay, so then getting new distributor started as a leader. Like, I think that sometimes it gets repetitive, and I think that sometimes we can like overcomplicate it. I feel like, at least I feel like, but with new distributors, like we kind of do get into the groove and we start realizing like how to like different people need to be led in different ways. But when new people are coming in and they're starting to sign people right away, it's like a couple of my recent distributors have signed distributors before even signing loyal customers, and they don't really know like what to do. But when we think of leadership, like leadership is so simple when you understand it. Like, we're just doing stuff and then telling you people what we're doing, but we can't make people do it. So, but how would you direct somebody that's just maybe new in this business and is enrolling distributors, how to teach them to lead? So they need to hear it from somebody besides me.
All right. So, well, my number one thing, and my team, I say this all the time, you need to truly be friends with people, and leadership will come so easy. If you are friends with your team, you can, oh my gosh, you could like take over the world, literally. Everyone asks me, how are you so close with your team? How is like your team always so motivated? It's because I am truly like friends with every distributor on my team. And that comes with a balance. You have to sometimes separate business from friendship, because it does. Sometimes you feel like, okay, you know, Sarah has only been texting me about her life, but you want to know about her life. But sometimes if you are close, if you become friends with them enough, it never has to be awkward. And that's what I think is really, really a strong leader, is having that friendship. So, you know, I talk to my team all the time and they're like, this is what's happening in my life. And I'm like, I'm so sorry to hear that. We talk about it for a little bit. And I'm like, so let's start enrolling, because that's going to get you so excited. So being an understanding and a friend as a leader is huge. When it comes to new people forming as leaders, if you are still learning, I just always say, like, learn with that person, but just try to be a little bit quicker. So if you feel like you're teaching them how to enroll customers and you're still a little lost on it, go watch a YouTube video. And, you know, just be always one step ahead, but don't feel like Okay. Don't feel like because you don't know everything about the business, you're a bad leader. I think that's what really breaks people down, especially when they're new. I'm still learning stuff. Lachelle's still learning stuff every single day. Like, I don't even know probably 40% of this business. I'm a top leader, and I couldn't even answer a first question about our compensation plan because it confuses me. So don't feel like because you're new and you don't know that much, whether it's products or, you know, the business opportunity or anything, don't feel like you're bad. Don't beat yourself up about it, because when you feel like you're bad at something, you hold yourself back from it, and then you're never going to learn. So I guess my tips is turning into a leader when you're new is just always learn, always be willing to learn, and always be looking for things to learn. I had no idea what the heck I was doing in the beginning. All I did was read Product Coach and watch YouTube videos. And that's how I learned how to be a leader. You don't have to be this perfect person, and you don't have to know everything about the business to be a good leader. You just have to be nice, be a friend to people, and be willing to learn as you go. And that's really all it takes. You're muted.
Okay, and I never realized until just now that our stories are very similar, and I'm seeing that where, like, you guys, if you can't rely on somebody to teach you this, like if you haven't found it yet, or it's just not clicking, maybe it hasn't clicked and you heard me say it, and it hasn't clicked with it and you heard her say it, and you're still like, how am I supposed to be a leader? They're not giving me the secret code. Self-taught leadership. Like, guys, we both didn't have an upline, so we had no choice but to go find the information and spend time learning it so that we could give it to other people. Like, here's the thing is, nobody was giving it to us, so we had to teach ourselves. And then when we brought people into this business, we just told them what we had already learned, or what we went to go spend time on. We gave our time and our, energy, and then gave them what we got out of it. So, all right, I love that. So do you work your business more through Facebook or Instagram? I recently heard that you and Instagram got into a little piffle.
So I am 90%.
Oh, you were getting hot. You're like, oh, okay.
So I'm 90% Instagram. I have a few Instagrams. So the only thing with Instagram is when you have so many, so you can only have 7,500 following. So if you're following a ton of people each day, you're going to get to that 7,500 following mark pretty quick. So I had 3 Instagrams. All 3 got shut down.
What do you mean you can only have 7,500 following?
Following. So you can have 4 million followers.
Wait, what?
So you can have like 8 million followers, but following, you're only allowed to have 7,500 following.
Okay.
So when you get to that, if you're following new people every single day, which is what we do to build our following, once you get to that 7,500 mark, it's not going to let you follow anymore.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, okay.
Yep. So my main account had like 14,000 followers, and I was at like 7,400 following. So I was capping out. So I had to make another Instagram to help me grow. All 3 of them got shut down, so I'm back to square one.
Now, I just need to say this right now, guys, because, okay, before you joined It Works, you did not have that many followers.
Oh my gosh, I think I had 400.
Okay, thank you. When I first joined It Works, I was like, what is a follower? Like, I thought Instagram was an editing app. Like, it was, no, like, I used it, but it wasn't, like, that popular, right? So, and guys, you just heard her. You probably heard those numbers, because I heard those numbers. I'm like, well, I'm not that cool. Nobody wants to. 1,400,000 people that want to follow me. But that sounds like you're cool. You're the girls that I follow because I'm just like, your life is pretty, like bloggers, everything. So sorry, cracking jokes. But guys, all of them got shut down. Long story. Don't use Captivate, correct?
So my tips.
Wait, did you use Captivate? Is that why it happened?
So I'm 50-50. I'm not sure if that's the real reason. I don't use Captivate anymore. It's just.
No, I just told everybody to stop using it. Just like, don't use it. Yeah.
I don't know if that was the reason, so I am not going to test it.
But she's going to start over, guys. And here's the thing. It probably didn't bother her, so go ahead. I'm just saying that because I suck at Instagram, and it's not too late to just go into it. So some people think like, oh, Instagram's like, already even taken over. I'm like, I'm just starting. I mean, you're about to start over again, so keep going. Sorry.
There are billions of people in the world. And I can't even tell you the amount of people that I message and they're like, no, I've never heard of it. It works. There's so many people out there. So I collectively over my 3 accounts probably had about 25,000 followers, and now I have 1,200. So someone just said, what about Cleaner? I use followers to unfollow, but I don't use Captivate anymore. My number one tip is make your own stories and make your own captions. We were all kind of sharing the same stories, same before and after pictures. And the letter that I got from Instagram said, repetitive action. From what I hear, every picture gets a code when it's uploaded to Instagram, whether it's a story or a picture. Every one gets its own code. Once that code gets tinged 20 times, they're going to shut off accounts that use that picture after there. So, I'm not even going to get into all that about Instagram. As long as you're making your own posts and it's fun, use the app Unfold. If you're making your own stories, making your own posts, you have absolutely nothing to worry about. So I did start back from zero. And like Lachelle said, I can't even think if that I let that like beat me down. Like you can't let what you can't fix affect you. Like I don't have any power over it. So how am I going to let that beat me down and like take over my business? No, I'm not gonna. So I broke out of my comfort zone, started using Facebook a little bit more. And you just make it work. So if you have 4 freaking followers on Instagram, you can be successful in this. You just can't give up on it. So, I think I forgot what the point of, do you use Facebook or Instagram more? So I personally love Instagram more. I just think it's easier to, reach out to people. I think it's easier to follow people, but everyone's different. Lachelle loves Facebook. So, that's totally, I don't know. It's totally your call, but I think it's just much easier to message people on Instagram. Because there's so many girls that are like, oh my gosh, yeah, like tell me all about it. And then on Facebook, I feel like they just ask me like crazy questions that they don't really care the answer to.
Tiffany Harris said something on 2 nights ago when we did a Zoom with her that, it's like Facebook is like friends and family. Like that's like even what is categorized in there. And like you have to like accept a friend request on Facebook. So it's literally like you're like have the walls where you're like, maybe I'll let you in, maybe I won't. But if you let somebody in, like they're in your network, right? But on Instagram, you just want people to follow you and you're following random people too. And it's like liking and commenting and it's not as serious that it's like almost like stranger danger is better. And it's like, okay, in Instagram.
Literally. No, that's like 100. What Tiffany Hurst said is exactly how I feel. Like I have so many of my mom's friends. And another tip, like totally getting off track here, but don't be scared to talk to your mom's friends or your grandma's friends. Like I was so scared to post on Facebook because I had so many close family friends and stuff like that. And they like half of them ordered from me when I was like so scared of them. So don't be scared to ask people because the worst they could say is no.
True. Okay. So what's your daily routine look like? And what are some of your non-negotiables?
Daily routine. So I follow people on Instagram. Still trying to build that up now. But I follow about 200 to 300 people on Instagram every single day. That takes me, not even 10 minutes throughout the whole day. Do like 2 minutes here, 3 minutes here, 3 minutes here. That's something that's so simple when you're sitting down. I don't really watch TV, but if you're sitting down watching TV, you can be following people. Messaging, same thing. You're sitting down watching TV, you could be messaging people. So I break them up so that it doesn't feel like too much all at once. So I'll message, 20 to 30 people, and then I'll take 3 hours off. Now I say that because I used to follow every hour. Message every hour. And it got to the point where I was like, felt like I was always messaging and I didn't really have a life. So what I do now, and this is thanks to Heather because she's on here, do 20 to 30 messages and then if you do 20, take 2 hours. If you do 30, then 3 hours, but I wouldn't go over that. But that gives you some more time throughout the day to do other things, follow more people, and set up posts, whatever it is. So following, messaging. My new thing that I'm loving is polls on Instagram and Facebook now, trying to get my algorithm up. So do something fun that your followers can actually look forward to. So have you been seeing my video?
No, because you told me this before, or I don't know. Excuse me. This is back when I stalked you. Duh. I watched a YouTube video of yours about how and this is like right when stories came out on Facebook, or right when they came out on Instagram, I think. Like, so it was like over a year ago, I watched this video of you talking about how you loved putting in which one question, or which one would you rather. And I was like, I'm funny, and that's something funny people would do to attract people into their business. Like, why did I not think of that? Like, I could not believe I did not think of that, because it's genius.
It's literally so fun. I just got a message today, and she was like, I look forward to looking at your story every single day. So do something fun that your remind your followers to go to your page. So my last couple would you rathers are just total nonsense, and it gets people,
guys, like, would you rather?
Okay, so my one the other day was, would you rather have hiccups for the rest of your life, or always feel like you have to sneeze but never can? And literally, it gets so much attention.
You're like, you think it's like one of those questions that's like so stupid, but at the same time you're like, well, like, it makes you like question, like, which one would I do?
Right. That got 95 comments on Facebook and a share. Like, it was great. Another one, would you rather lick the pole in a New York subway or be licked by 5 strangers in the subway? Like, just random. Would you rather never bend your elbows or never bend your knees again? Like, do something fun that people can look forward to, and it draws them to your page. Even if it's something as stupid as, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see Nicole's Would You Rather today. They're going to pass by all my other stories to get to my Would You Rather, and eventually they're going to catch on.
I wonder if Elisa's on right here now, but I don't think she is. But Elisa, she likes to do it. She was doing it like bi-weekly, but this is another idea too, guys. So what she would do is she would take a picture of her food, but she would zoom in somewhere on the food, and then she would be like, what, can you guess what this is? And then she'd give away like a free keto energy or free keto coffee or something. And like, it would be like, you know, mashed potatoes, and then she'd zoom in really, really, and like, really close to the mashed potatoes, and there would be like thousands of comments on these pictures, because people are like, you know what I'm talking about, those pictures you're like, it's like French dressing or like whatever. Yeah.
Like, or the ones that it's like 2 things, but one is in the distance, and you spend like 40 minutes looking at it. And you ask everyone in the room what it is, and everyone's like, I don't know. And then you're like, crap. And you're like spinning it.
Yeah.
You spend too much time on it. Like, people love to do that stuff. So do something fun that they like to do. And I'm telling you, it's going to bring your page up. I only have 1,200 followers right now, and I'm getting more likes than on my page that had 12,000 followers.
Yeah.
So just interaction is huge. So that's in my daily tasks, to do something funny. And I have fun with it. Emily's fiance, Aaron, he's just like me. Like, we're just nuts. So him and I work together. I have some crazy would you rathers that haven't made it to Facebook yet, but like weird stuff. Like, would you rather have a sex change every time you sneeze, or never know the difference between a baby and a muffin? Like, that would you rather makes no sense, and it gets so much attention. It's literally so fun. So
and those are only Instagrams?
I do it on Facebook too. I haven't broken into the really weird ones on Facebook yet. I'm still taking it easy.
That's funny. Okay, so that's so genius, guys. She's basically, it's like, think about the people that all like the dog videos, like, do something, not the dog videos, what I'm saying is that something like with those ads that you can't help but look at, like, there needs to be something that just brings people to your page. I follow a couple girls on Facebook, one in particular, that I go to her page because I know there's going to be the funniest memes I've ever read. Like, that's why I go to her page. And yes, I've recruited her, and she will be one of my diamonds one day, I promise. So, I mean, I've heard you talk about planting seeds in general, but December, what do you think about the importance of planting seeds in December because of the big boom that comes into New Year? Maybe just kind of elaborate for new distributors.
I mean, what is there not to
seasons? Do you feel seasons?
Well, I'm a firm believer on there's no slow season unless you slow down. I am a firm believer, but I will say I'm not a robot, and it definitely is a slight bit slower in this time, but it shouldn't be slow. You shouldn't be getting no customers. It just might be like a couple less. So I'm a firm believer the only time there's a slow season is when you slow down. I'm also a huge person on this is the time you want to put in the work, because I promise you it's all going to pay off. So in this generation, instant gratification is what everyone wants. You join this and you want to make $1 million next month, and you have to work for it. So what you're doing now, I always say, pays off in 2 months. Every single person you're talking to now is going to order or sign up in 2 months. And that puts us right at New Year's resolutions. So you guys, even though it's only the 6th, like when you're making your stories, talk about New Year's resolutions. Open their mindset. So when in 26 days, when they're like, oh, I really wanted to lose weight. Who was that talking about New Year's resolutions? It was like keto coffee. And then they think about you, and then they go back to your page, and now they're going to order. So every single person you're talking to now, I know it's going to you might feel a little defeated because not everyone's ordering right now. I promise you, you want to talk to every single contact you have right now, because the power is in the follow-up. So it's going to take a couple follow-ups to get them to order, and that's okay. Don't beat yourself down over that. It happens to everyone. It happens to number 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 income earners in the company. Happens to everyone. Just know that every single person you're talking to now, they're going to order, because who the heck doesn't want to be healthier? Whether you're like 110 pounds and you don't have any weight to lose, they want to tone up or they want to grow their hair. Like, there's absolutely no one in the world that can say, nope, I'm pretty perfect. There's nothing I need for New Year's resolutions. There's absolutely nothing I need. People either want to make money or they want to get healthier. So, staying organized is huge right now too. So as many people as you're talking to, you need to stay organized, because it's very easy to fall off track. My organization, I'm at Emily's and it's not next to me right now, but I have a planner. I am someone that if I don't write it down, it's not going to happen. You're not going to remember that Sarah_X23 star squiggle from Instagram wants to order keto coffee and chocolate greens next Friday. You're not going to remember it. So get yourself a planner. I mean, everyone's different. Celeste, she's a triple on my team. She can just like save numbers in her phone as PLC, and that's how she follows up. I need to write it down. My planner is called Day Designer. I got it off Amazon, and it's the only planner I've ever found that has each day has its own page. And this is great for 2 purposes. One,
say it again.
Day Designer. So there's a bunch of different ones. When you're looking through the pictures, it's the one with a white background and like gold. I don't want to say cheetah print, but that's the easiest way to describe it. It's almost like cheetah print. It's white and gold. So that's the only one that has each day has its own page. Now, one you can write, like you don't have to write super small where you like have to get a magnifying glass to follow up. You can write kind of big, and I love it because it's an accountability thing with myself. Each day has its own page. If I have 4 numbers on a full page, I'm like, what the heck did I do today? Like, I totally slacked off. So it's kind of an accountability partner or accountability thing with myself. The way that I stay organized is I write, when you work from home, you never know what day it is. So today is Thursday, and every number I get today, I am going to write on tomorrow's date. Then tomorrow, every person that I got today that did not answer or did not order from me, even if they answered, that did not order from me, is going to get a text tomorrow. The reason I do that is, one, you don't want to save everyone till Friday because you're going to get yourself overwhelmed, and then you're going to find yourself not following up because you'd rather not do it because you're overwhelmed. So I follow up every single day, and I follow up with the person from the day before. People are busy. Let's be realistic. Like, you can talk to someone on Monday about keto coffee and chocolate greens. You think they're the most interested person in the world. On Friday, you follow up and they say, who's this? Like, it sucks. It makes you a little upset. So I can see you laughing, Stacey. So you know how it feels. So I follow up the next day because you're still fresh in their mind. Like they're still like, oh yeah, I'm so sorry I didn't answer you. I got caught up. Where on Friday, they might not even remember who you are. So that's my method of following up. And yeah, I totally going off track, but.
I'm muted. No, I love it. Like, thank you. You're just adorable and you're funny. What sign are you?
Taurus.
You're a Taurus. You are a Taurus. That's why I love you so much. You're my most compatible sign.
There we go.
I'm the weirdo that asks everybody. No, I love that. So I love that you guys, like, just follow up. Like, you said it perfectly. Like, I actually feel that, like, where I get so overwhelmed because I do wait till Friday. Actually, I do, like, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays are my follow-up days. And those are always the days that I'm enrolling. And I love that. I'm actually going to totally order that planner. Like, no offense to the It Works planner, but I'm going to.
It's literally, and that's props to Nay. It's such a great planner, and I've probably spent like hundreds of dollars on planners. I've tried every single one out there. This is by far, and I'm someone who, like, if I write sloppy, I'd rather throw the planner out and go buy a new one. So it's easy because you have enough space and you can keep it neat, and it's just like, I should probably distribute for them because I probably send so many people there.
Stacey, you are cracking up because that's totally you too. But something that guys, this is so important. Everybody that you talk to, I know you said order, but also will join.
Mm-hmm.
Will join come conference. So if you want to be in, like, here's the thing, our CEO is going to bring out things at conference. And if we get to, it's like the $20 codes. If you got to $20 codes and then you got nobody, like, you haven't had, like, what you thought that everybody was going to join, like, that you were just going to run out of your codes like this. And if you didn't, it's because you didn't have enough people to offer the codes to that actually wanted it. Because 1 out of 10 people that you offer the opportunity to will actually join when you follow up with them. And these people you need to be talking to now, because come conference, you need to know that, I mean, mine is about 1 out of 10. 1 out of every 10 people that I offer the opportunity to will join within the next 60 days. And so that means my numbers, if I want 10 people to join in the next 60 days, and I need to talk to 60 people. Mm-hmm. Like, so you have to look at numbers like that, but anybody that you're talking to right now, I mean, or anybody that you want to join, come conference, when he brings out whatever he brings out to start the year off with a big boom, you need to be in their inbox now. Go for no. Guys, I'm in the mindset where I'm just like, oh, I got to get a no from this girl for sure. Like, that is how I, like, if I see her, I'm like, I got to get her to start looking at me and say, like, no, so then she can watch me and change her mind, because that's what always happens, guys. There will be something that changes the right person's mind. You don't have to, and, like, you can, it doesn't matter what you say to the right person. Like, they might say no, but it's just not right now to the right person.
My number one thing is, whenever someone says no, it just means no, not right now. Like, it doesn't mean no, because who the heck doesn't want to be rich and who the heck doesn't want to be healthy? It just means no, not right now.
Do you have any tips for enrolling distributors? Like, do you message, or is it attraction marketing?
So I will be the first to say, if you message, you are not, like, wrong. I used to do it. I do not anymore. Here's my thoughts on why I don't message anymore. I found that when I was messaging for distributors, I was asking people to want to change their lives. Whereas if they see my post and they reach out to me, they want to change their lives. So my success rate with new distributors has really changed, because, you know, when someone's like, yeah, I want to make some extra money, and you sign them up because you ask them to make extra money, their work ethic is just different than if they're reading your posts, which is another thing, your, like, raw posts, and they're like, wow, like, she gets it. They're going to work a lot harder than you asking them to want to make money. Which brings me to my next thing. Life posting is just everything. And you have to realize that people relate more to struggle than they do to success. And I say this every single Zoom I do. Everyone joins and they say, I'm never going to sign a distributor, Nicole, because I don't drive a brand new Range Rover and live in a really big house on the beach. And I personally think that the people at the top of the company have a disadvantage, because someone who can't afford to put gas in their car that breaks down every week is never going to relate to my brand new Mercedes. They're going to be like, no, that's not me. That's not my life. So you guys have to realize that if you are new, you have so much potential. You just have to feel comfortable opening up. So don't be scared to say that you had to ask your mom for $20 for gas last week or something like that. Be real and raw with people, because that's what gets other people feeling comfortable enough to message you. Because again, you know, my big old house means nothing to someone who lives in an apartment that they can't afford. So obviously we always say inspire and talk about things that, you know, you want to do with the company, but realize that if you are new, you are not bad at this because you don't have what we have yet. So my biggest tip with distributors is be real with people and don't feel like you can't sign anyone because you haven't made $1 million yet.
I love that, because what everybody forgets too, guys, and something that I love just being for the last 2 years, being able to be in the top 150 at the events, and even like in the top 50 is probably where I really felt it when I was at top 50 events, is looking around and seeing that I am in a room full of people that didn't skip the struggle. Like in that room of people is a lot of failures. Like we failed our way up here. Like we have stories, like, and you just got to remember, like you can't skip the story, guys. Like, you know, you want that story on stage where you know, trust me, like it feels good to tell people that like I had to rebuild at Triple Diamond and it took me a year to go presidential, like a year from Triple Diamond to presidential, and I had to start over and literally rebuild to presidential. Like it feels good to tell that story, and it was worth it when I got $100,000 presidential bonus. And so if you want those stories like that, you have to understand that your story is different in this company. Like everybody's story is a little bit different, and it just that like but we started as new distributors. Like we started as new distributors, but on the way to our success, like starting from ground zero, zero loyal customers, everything, what we did was create a group of people that decided to grow together. It's like when I look at the people that are growing right now, that are starting to promote, they're taking they have locked arms with a group of people and they are growing upwards together. These are people that, you know, started like where they couldn't fill their gas tank up anymore. And now I see like these group of people that are just like growing together, all talking about like, oh my God, I'm so thankful that It Works can fill my gas tank. They're all telling the same story kind of, and they're growing to the next level. And so that's just one team, one mission culture, guys, is just remembering like, you know, enrolling distributors, lock arms with these people, like lock arms with people that are in a similar situation of you. If you are a mom of two, go offer this opportunity to moms of twos. Like that's like, you don't, or two people, like for real. Like I'm looking for like, who's pregnant? Come on, come with me. Like who's pregnant? I'm serious. So what are some things that you do to stay motivated in this business? I mean, especially being in for 3 years, because it does get repetitive at times.
Well, I'm a firm believer, you guys have probably heard this a million times, but if your why is strong enough, you never really have to lose motivation. Obviously we all have down days, no one's perfect. And if you know what you're going for, you're always going to want to, okay, let's start over. Let's say make goals that are achievable. That's my number one thing. Obviously, we all want to live in like a $2 million house on the beach. That's perfect and whatever. Maybe not all of us, but that's like a huge goal for most people, is to have this awesome house. But make achievable goals on the way, because if you are constantly not reaching your goal, you're going to beat yourself down. So little goals along the way is going to help you get to that big goal. Make sure those goals that are achievable are written everywhere and you could freaking cross them off, whether it's to be able to buy groceries without a credit card and put it on a debit card, cross it out. Whether it's have your bills on auto pay so you don't have to worry about doing it, cross it out. Like, you know, make little achievable goals that you can cross off. That's going to get you just pumped up and get you closer to your end goal. But staying motivated, self-development, I mean, we talked about that. The Secret, I like always am watching. I hate reading. I'll be the first one to say it. I'm really bad at reading. I have no idea how I made it through like a science degree, because sometimes I get a semi-long text and I have to hand it to my husband. I'm like, I can't even get this through my head. Can you read this to me? I'm just really bad at reading. So I definitely don't read. Get Audible books. If that's your thing. I play them in the car. I don't really listen to music too much. I more listen to self-development. Yeah, I don't know. Staying motivated, just, have goals.
Yeah.
That's really it.
Good. What do you think helps getting new distributors excited and staying excited? We know that the speed of the leader is the speed of the pack. So what do you kind of do you stay motivated? Well, no, that's not the same question. I'm just saying more like, I feel like in the beginning of this business, how is it? Sometimes we start dreaming for other people, and we start dreaming for our new distributors before they start dreaming for themselves. How do you get your new distributors to really catch sight of dreaming?
So hold on, I'm going to shut the door because I can hear Emily.
Okay.
So my first thing, and I've actually changed the way that I'm training now, and it's working big time. So one of the first things I have my distributors do before I even have them watch videos or do anything is they text me their why. And I tell them if it's not strong enough. I will tell them right away if it's not strong enough. Someone texted me the other day and they were like, hey, I joined this to make some extra money. I was like, like, not good enough. Make it deeper. And then it turned into to make extra money for my 3 kids because we're struggling and they're eating SpaghettiOs every night because I can't, drag it out of people. Get a really deep why right from the bat, and they're going to be more excited when they watch that training video than if you didn't have them do that. I also have them, or when they send me that, I save it into their, like each contact, there's like a notes section. I save their why so that when they try to give up or they feel like they're really down, I open the notes, I read their why, and I throw it back at them and I say, is this not that important to you anymore? And that's something new that I've been doing, and it's really, 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 really good. But with keeping my team motivated, I just really am constantly talking about what the business can do for them. If we're signing 2 distributors a day on my team, which it's usually much more, I'm sharing my story with those new distributors like every other day. I'm like talking about something the business is doing for me. Right now, a huge part of my life is my dad's really sick. He has stage 4 lung cancer, and I moved to South Carolina, and he lives in Connecticut. So right now, Craig and I, we had Thanksgiving and Christmas that we were going to be in Connecticut for. And I said to Craig, I'm like, let's just stay. Let's stay from Thanksgiving to Christmas. Let's hang out with my dad. Let's do what we got to do. And we don't have to go home because of this business. So, I'm very, although if you looked at my Facebook, you would have no idea that my dad is sick, but my team knows my dad is sick. I'm very active about it in my group chat. So just reminding them of how this has changed my life, my teammates' lives. And there's really not too much in the beginning that, I guess what I'm trying to say is when they're new, they can't even grasp what they have at their fingertips, new distributors. They don't even have the freaking slightest idea of how crazy this business is and what they can do. So it's your job to remind them. You can't motivate anyone. You can only inspire. So I always say just share with them what this is doing for you right now. This is helping my parents pay for my dad's treatments and stuff. This is giving me the ability to be in Connecticut for almost 2 months. This literally, I was able to pay all my bills, pay my mortgage, pay everything in South Carolina, and still pay $1,200 a month to rent a condo here. So like, this is just everything. So you can't motivate people. You can only inspire them. And if someone truly wants to change their life and they hear a story like that, that's going to inspire them more than anything.
You just got me there. You just pulled on the heartstrings there. I am praying so much for your dad. Oh my gosh. I did not know that either. So I am praying so hard for your dad. You know exactly where that fits in my life. So, and that's incredible that you've been able to do that. And guys, like, just hearing that story, I will cry right now. It might be the hormones probably, but like being, there are things that this business, and she probably didn't know that this was going to happen, 3 years in this business, like I didn't know it was going to happen to my mom going 2 years in this business, but like because of this business, we're able to make decisions like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I really always tell people, work this business for a future you know nothing about, because things like this can happen. And it's like, how amazing is it that she can rent a condo to be with her father in something like this. Same with, I was able to move across country, get a condo for my mom and move her across Mayo to get a treatment. But we worked so hard years ago. It's like how she was talking about, like, everyone that you talk to now will join in 2 months. Guys, the huge dreams that you have will come in the years to come. Like when you commit to this business and you commit to years, it'll change your life. Like Nicole, I'm going to see you in 2 years, right? Like we're going to be like in 2 years, I'm going to be 30. I'm going to have a babysitter at home, hopefully 2 kids by then, and we're going to be on the leadership retreats.
Yep.
Like, okay, like here's the thing, guys, like that's where we're going to be. And in 2 years, we will be in the Millionaires Club. Like we have long-term goals of this company. Did you know that in the beginning? Or when did you find that it was going to be long-term? Because I love that I swear to God, I knew this from the very beginning. I was like, this company's going to make me a millionaire. I knew it, but I know that it's different for other people.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
When was your turning point then?
When I bought my first house, which was 9 months in, when I was like, wow, this is cool. I definitely had so my goal, I would say my goal when I first started was $200-300 a month, until like I got a steady hygiene job. And then I was like, then I'll be good. Like I went into hygiene school to make a lot of money. So my goal was, once I got a steady hygiene job, I'll be good. And then I'll just quit this. And then I started getting closer with Cassie. And then I would say the month I went diamond is when I was like, yeah, I hate working. So if you feel like right now you feel like it's not a long-term thing for you, I promise your visions will change, because I used to tell everyone there's no way I would never do hygiene. I love being a hygienist. I literally graduated hygiene, and 3 months later, my professors called me and they were like, you were so good at this, I want you to teach it. And 3 months out of hygiene school, I was teaching hygiene. I didn't even have a steady hygiene job yet, and I was teaching it. So I was good at it. And I was like, there's no way. Christy Shirkovich, she's a double on my team. Her and I used to freaking fight. She's a nurse. And she would say, I would never, ever, ever. I love nursing. I joined nursing to change lives. I would never quit my job. Guess what she did? She quit her job. So if you feel like right now this isn't a long-term thing for you, you're just going to make a couple $100 each month and be happy with it,
that's okay.
Your views are going to change.
When you get to diamond and above, your life will change. That's what it is. So that's just another reason to get to diamond, to see how your decisions start changing. Like if somebody told that to me, I'd be like, well, let me get to diamond and let me make an opinion for myself then. Like that's how my mind would work, just because I'm super competitive probably. Last question that I want to end the night on is, and I love asking this to leaders every single time, it's the last question. I don't put it on the thing because I want to make sure that you are just sidetracked a little bit. But
I don't look at questions before because it makes me nervous. So
okay, perfect. So if you had to inspire yourself the day that you joined, what would you tell the person that joined? What would you say to them? How would you inspire them to, go all in? Like, what would you tell Nicole that joined?
Oh boy, this is a tough one. What would I tell Nicole that joined? I would tell myself, I don't know, that first of all, everything's going to change. That would be the first thing. Everything's going to change as long as you're pumped up. And I would tell myself that you're going to make the best friends in the world, because I can't even tell you, whether you're on this and you're new or you've been in this for a while, you are literally going to make the best friends ever. People that you can call and, cry on the phone with, and then they're like, all right, I know, talk it out. And they're going to be like, so let's make today better. And they're going to inspire you. And it's not going to be staying negative and staying sad for days. The people that I've become friends with, there's just I didn't even think there was people like this in the world. Honestly, I thought everyone, I mean, I live in Connecticut, so everyone's grumpy here, but I thought everyone was grumpy and everything sucked because that's how it is in Connecticut. Like, you walk by people that you know in the grocery store and you wave and they turn the other way. I honestly thought that's how the whole world was. And now that I'm meeting the people in this company and the It Works culture, it's just so different. So I guess I would tell the Nicole, don't give up, because you're the most amazing friends and the most amazing money is coming, and your life is literally going to be 180. I still can't even imagine if I didn't join this, where the heck would I would be? I can't even imagine. I'd still be in my 900 square foot house where I didn't even have my mattress and my box spring was on the floor because my master bedroom was so small that we couldn't even fit a headboard and a dresser.
Yeah.
So,
like, this is like the one thing that always like just holds on to me in this business. I can fill my gas tank. I love that. Like, I literally put my card in, get back in my car, and I just let it go until it hits, because that never ever happened in my entire life before It Works. It never happened, and I love it because I hate being cold. I hate being cold. I hate being cold so much, and a lot of gas stations don't prepay like anymore. I don't know why that's such an Illinois thing, maybe, or no, it was a Nevada thing too. And but here, I hate being cold, and I love that I can just put my card in, fill it up. It ends at 40.17, like whatever it ends at. That is the craziest. I remember that when the first time I ever did that, I'm like, I made it. This is it. I can feel fantastic.
You know what I absolutely love? And I kind of said it before. Every bill I have is on auto pay. I literally never have to look at my account to be like, crap, I should probably pay that tomorrow. This is real bad, but this is what happens when you know you've made it. I have no idea what day my mortgage comes out.
I don't either. Somebody asked me the other day, how much is your electric bill? I was like, I really hope that I pay the electric bill, because I am not sure.
Literally no idea. No idea. So that's just something that I just think is the coolest thing ever.
It is. Well, I appreciate you so much. You are just so great. Totally makes sense that you're a Taurus, because I just absolutely adore you. We appreciate everything that you poured into us tonight. I'm going to upload this to YouTube, and I just appreciate you. Thank you so much for being on with us.
Thanks for having me.
Bye, guys.
Bye.